it's here. I'm so excited. It's here. Do you want to know what's here? This is what's here. Yeah. This is the Solmåne II eyeshadow palette from Oden's Eye. It is so stunning. This is everything that an eyeshadow palette should be, wants to be, could ever dream of being. If I were to design a palette, it would look like this. Although now I don't need to because Oden's Eye did it for me. This is everything. It is formula, color story, packaging, performance. I'm in love. I'm in love. I did this look today and I'll be doing another one tomorrow. If you want to see either of those, then just stick around. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name's Rachel. I'm a homeschooling stay-at-home mom. I get really excited about colorful eyeshadow and I upload about 3 videos a week. Lots of palette bingos, collection tours, tutorials, get ready with me's. If you would like to see tons of colorful content on your timeline, I hope you'll consider liking and subscribing. So let me first tell you what I got in this shipment. I really didn't order very much. I just got the palette and 2 of these new eyeliner pencils. I believe this is a new product to Oden's Eye and they had a whole rainbow selection of colors, but I got 2 colors that I'm always wanting and never have. I got a lavender color in the shade 008 and then I got an orange. It's like a vermilion. Let me swatch these for you because they're so pretty. So here is the lavender. It's a beautiful soft purple. It's not very light like a bluey lavender, but it's really pretty anyway. And then this is the shade 002. And this one has my heart. I can't wait to play with this shade. I often find myself wanting an orange eyeliner and a lavender one too. Every time I want a lavender one, I'm like, well, I guess I have to use blue, which is fine because it's gonna look good too, but I'm excited about those. But what I'm really excited about is the palette. Ah, it's here. It might be the prettiest palette in my collection. It's so pretty. It's so beautiful. Look at how beautiful this is. Okay, one of the things that most drew me into this palette, aside from the color story and all the variety of colors, like there are a lot of colors in here. We've got greens, blues, light purples, darker purple, berry tones, yellowy, orangey, black. It's got a lot of actual colors and there are shimmers that work with the mattes, which is always a preference of mine. And we go very light to very dark, which is again a preference of mine because I want to be able to darken out a look. And despite the fact that it is a pretty blue-purple sort of palette, it doesn't have a lot of dark blue and purple tones, which are colors that I avoid. So I've got the one dark blue that I need, I've got the one dark purple that I need, and I have a black to deepen up anything that might be deepened well by a blue or purple. This is like my ideal palette. I'm so excited. It's beautiful. I swatched it yesterday and I will put up a video of those swatches. And you can just see, I did it in the sunlight so that we could see all of the different beautiful color shifting and the way the sunlight catches and makes everything sparkle. They're so beautiful. It's also a good representation of the true colors of the palette because generally when I'm doing my eyeshadow it's very early in the morning, often before the sun is up, and so I don't have the best lighting. And then my daughter thought that it was actually similar to the Hummingbird palette, so I will put up comparison swatches of that as well. There are some shades that are a little similar, but there are absolutely not any dupes, and they're far enough apart, they're different enough that I don't feel like I have duplicate palettes. So this is the Hummingbird and the Solmåne II palette swatches, just comparisons of similar shades. So I am super excited. I think this is so beautiful. I'm so excited that it finally arrived and I want to put it all over my eyes. So I'm going to do one look for you today and then I'll come back tomorrow and do a second look for you. For you, it's not going to be tomorrow. It'll be like 3 seconds later, but I'm so excited. Let's get going. First, I'm going to prime my eyes using a Glamlight icing primer. I always have the shade White Frosting. I think today, as in the day that I'm filming, a video just went live of a primer wear test between the Glamlight and the NYX primers. And so if you're interested, you'll have to check that out. I'll try to remember to card it above for you. And it was just, I know I always talk about how much I prefer the Glamlight primer, and I wanted to actually compare them next to each other. So hopefully that video is helpful to you. It was just a really quick, like super quick sped up tutorial and then check-ins throughout the day to see how my, if you hear that weird noise, my dog is like heavily breathing right next to me. Check-ins throughout the day to see how the primer is wearing and how the eyeshadows look over time. I'm so excited. This is gonna be pretty. I want to do like a purple into blue sort of eyeshadow look, and I want to use several of the shades and just, I mean, I know how they're going to perform. Oden's Eye is probably my favorite company. I love all of their shadows. They always perform well, but yeah, let's get going. I am taking a small blending brush, taking the shade Dream, which has a lovely little moon and star imprint, and I'm going to put that right at the inner corner. I'm going to split my crease into 3 separate colors. So here's Dream at the inner corner. And right now I'm just going to place the colors where I want them. Then I'll work at blending them in a minute. So that'll be Dream. And then with the same brush, I'm gonna grab Galaxy, which is a dark plummy purple matte, kind of an eggplant aubergine sort of color. I know I just gave you 3 different colors: plum, eggplant, aubergine, berry. There you go. It's another word, berry. I'm gonna put this Galaxy shade right here in the middle of my crease. Now you'll notice that I'm actually going higher than my crease because my eyes are slightly hooded and I want these colors to really show up and not get lost in the hood. So this is Galaxy right next to the purple matte, and I'm putting this right in the middle of my crease, not going too far. And then with the same brush, now I'm taking Nebula, dark blue matte. These colors are so pigmented. And I'm gonna put Nebula out here, and I'm also bringing this down onto the outer lid space. All right, now color switch my brush, and then where the purple meets the blue, I'll take a little bit more purple and work them together. They'll blend together super easily because they're so close. That's why I chose the darker purple. Dipping back into Dream, and I'm gonna blend these 2 colors together. With a pinch blending brush, I'm going to take the shade Soft Cloud. This is the lightest of the blue mattes, and I'm going to put this right on the edge of these shades to blend them up a little bit towards the brow bone. Now that's better as far as an overall blend, and particularly up towards the brow, but I did lose some of the darkest purple matte, so I'm just dipping back in with the same pencil brush that I used before, and I'm really going to just tap this into place. Instead of going back and forth, I'm going to tap it so that it stands out again. Oden's eyeshadows are incredibly buildable. Like, you can cover up a dark shade with a light shade just by putting it over top. It's remarkable. I mean, I put this blue shade that I just used to blend them out, the Soft Cloud color, I put that on top of these dark blues and this dark purple, and it basically covered it. It's crazy. They're so buildable, which is great because you can blend them really nicely and like create a base and then layer another color on top. They're awesome. All right, this is where we are now, and I want to grab some shimmers. Another reason that this palette is so perfect for me is that the shimmers are all pretty light toned. There's no like deep dark navy blue shimmer. If there were, the only time I would use it would be to transition from a lighter or medium toned shimmer over to the darkest outer corner, the 2 points where the light shimmer meets the dark matte, and that would help transition. And I do use that sort of shimmer from time to time if it's available in my palette and I need to, but my preference is to have light and mid-toned shimmers that work with the colors so that I can still get a deep look by, you know, throwing in a black matte in the outer corner, but the shimmers themselves don't get too dark. And so again, this palette's just perfect for me. I love it. I'm gonna take a flat C or shader brush. I wanna grab the shade Meteor. Now that it's on my brush, I'm going to spray it quickly with some setting spray, and I'm gonna place this on the inner half of the lid space. Right here, so it's going underneath of the periwinkle shadow, and it's going about halfway underneath of this dark purple shadow. This is a lovely pinky sort of shimmer. With that same brush, now I'm grabbing the shade Deep Space, and Deep Space is going to go on the rest of my lid space right here to mate up with the, oh, look at that blue. It's like electric blue. Oh, it's so pretty. To meet up with the blue matte. So where the 2 shimmers meet, I'm just having them intersect, and then I'll flip over my brush to a cleaner side and go back and forth, dragging some of the pink onto the blue and some of the blue onto the pink, and they will blend together so nicely. These are beautiful. They're so beautiful. And if I think that the blue is getting a little bit much because it's the darker color, it's easier to overwhelm, I'll just dip back into the pinky shade Meteor and take back some real estate. That is so beautiful. What do you think? Pretty, right? Little side note, I'm not at all loving this outer edge, so I'm taking a blending brush. I'm just gonna work these shades a bit, work them together, and then work them out into nothingness, if I can. We'll see. On the lower lash line, I'm gonna take that pinch blending brush that I used before. I'm gonna grab the shade Dream and carry this from about halfway point over to the inner corner. Then I'll grab Nebula with the same brush. I'm dipping in very, very lightly. These colors are so pigmented. Like, one little tap and you've got enough for this kind of work right here. I do not want to go in too heavy. Just putting that in the very outer corner and then blending it into the same shade out here. And then finally, this palette does have something that can easily be used for an inner corner highlight. If I had my druthers, I might choose something a little bit lighter for an inner corner highlight. However, I want to stay fully within this palette, and there is a good option here. So I'm taking a smaller pencil brush and grabbing the shade Starry Sky. Of course, I will spray my shimmer and throw this right here. Oh, that's actually a little brighter than I thought it would be. Well, you can't complain about that. Oh, it's too beautiful. Now I'm going to take that lavender liner that I bought, and I'm curious to see how this performs on the eye. I feel like it might be a little bit harder. I'm used to ColourPop Creme gel liners, and so this is like directly comparing to those. That was the shade 008. I will say that it is not as creamy and smooth as the ColourPop Creme gel liners. It's a little bit stiffer, a little bit harder. You have to, I usually go back and forth a bunch anyway, even with the creme gel liners, to just build up the color. But this one, I felt like it just didn't glide on quite as smoothly. I think I do prefer the ColourPop formula for the creme gel liners, but I can't say anything bad about these eyeshadows. It's so beautiful. I'm having tons of fun. I'm going to go off camera and finish up the other eye. I'll throw on a liner and mascara and just finish everything up, and then I'll show you the final look. All right, here is how it turned out. You guys, I'm in love. I knew I would be. Come on, this is no surprise. I do have to say that this eye is much neater and a bit tidier and less muddled, I would say, than this eye, because I was just so excited to play with these shadows. I went a little bit ham over here, a little bit crazy. So this eye is a little bit neater overall. So we'll just look at that side. I did a winged eyeliner, some mascara, a little bit of face products, and that's everything. Oh, and on my lips, I'm wearing a ColourPop lip oil in the shade Smirk. I love this look. I hope you like it. This is my first look using the Solmåne II eyeshadow palette from Oden's Eye, and I'm gonna wear it all day and feel beautiful. I will see you again in about 5 seconds, and we'll start the second look. All right, it is the next day for me, and today I want to play with pretty much everything on the bottom row. I want to use all of these colors, except I don't know if I'll use both shimmers. I think today I want to do a halo eye, and I've already primed my eyes using a Glam Light primer, so let's get going. You'll have to excuse any noise you hear. The neighbors are doing some work on their house, and it's like coming through my walls. Anyway, I'm going to take a large or medium blending brush and grab the shade Warm Light. This is the yellow matte. There's a lot of kick up in this pan, but that's okay. Oh, look how pretty that color is. So nice. I'm putting this in my crease. I've pretty much settled on my preferred halo eye technique. I made a video about it, but I'm not sure that it's published yet. If it's published, I'll card it above for you. But basically, I like to do a light wash of color in my crease, emphasize the inner and outer corners, gently blend it up towards my brow bone, and then I just deepen the two corners. So that's my preferred method. It's really, really quick and easy, and I like the result. I think it looks good when you're all said and done. That's a really beautiful color. I love it. I'm going to take a much smaller blending brush. I want the shade Solar, which is the peach matte shade. This one's got a lot less kick up in the pan. I'm taking Solar, and I'm going to place this on the inner and outer corners. It's a lovely orangey peach tone, and it looks beautiful with this yellow base. I think I'll probably deepen up this outer corner with the black shade, but I'm not sure. I'm honestly working a little bit quickly because A, I don't want this video to take forever, and I talked a little bit too much during my first half, and B, I just laid my baby down for a nap, and I'm really hoping that these weird construction noises are not going to wake her up. I definitely do have some fallout on my face from that peachy matte, but it's okay. I'll just brush it away and put on a little bit of concealer under my eyes, as I usually do. With that same small blending brush, I'm going to take the shade Black Hole. I'm going in very, very lightly because I can always add more, but I can't take away. And I'm just going to deepen this outer corner and see how it looks. I don't want to make it too dusty. I'll probably put down the black and then put the orangey apricot shade back over top of it. So it gives me a darker version of that same shade. Going back in with more Solar on top of the black. All right, that's cute. So now I'm going to do a shimmer on the center of the halo eye, and I'm trying to decide which one. We've got the shades Sunlight and Eternal. Sunlight is more of a yellowy gold, and Eternal is more of a peachy orange pink sort of shimmer. And I'm trying to decide which one to do. I think I'll do Eternal, because I don't think I want the look to be too gold, too yellow. So I think I'll do Eternal. So I'm going to take a flat C or shader brush I swear, I literally use this brush every time I do an eye look and I can never find it. Like, it's always in the same place, it just hides from me. I'm gonna grab the shade Eternal, dip into the pan, and then spray the brush. And I'm gonna place that in the very center of my halo eye. Because it's quite similar to the shades I've got down, I might go on top of it with the gold just to separate that and add an extra bit of high shine to the very center of the lid. Because right now this doesn't really look too much like a halo eye because it's all a bit more monochromatic. You can do a monochromatic halo eye, absolutely. You just have to choose a shimmer that really pops. And this shimmer is beautiful, but it doesn't pop next to the colors that I'm laying it next to. So I'm gonna place it down, and I do think I'll go in and grab the gold shade. Always blending, always blending. I'll grab the gold shade with that same flat C or shader brush. The shade is called Sunlight. And I'm gonna place it right in the middle here. That just wakes it up a little bit. Now on the lower lash line, I wanna bring something a little bit different. I know that yesterday I used the Galaxy shade, but I think I'm gonna use it again today. So I'm taking a smudger brush, grabbing Galaxy, and I'm gonna start at that in the outer corner of the lower lash line. This is turning out very sunsetty. Just gonna throw on some of that purple there. Then I'll take the same smudger. After color switching it, I'm going to take the shade Warm Light again, the yellow matte, and I'll place that the rest of the lower lash line. So I've got yellow into purple. Don't forget to dip back into the pan frequently to reload your brush. In my experience, Oden's eyeshadows perform better when you dip back in frequently. And then for an inner corner highlight, I'm taking a very small pencil brush, going back into the shade Sunlight. I do wish I knew what on earth they were doing. And if I could ask them to stop while my baby's napping. Probably not. That might be unreasonable. I've sprayed the brush and now I'm going to put that right here. Oh, that's pretty. Putting it as an inner corner highlight, I'm letting it overlap the peachy yellowy tones here. And I'll drag it down a little bit onto the yellow matte that I laid down under the eye. And now I want to try my new orange eyeliner. Again, this is the shade 002. And I'm going to put this on the whole waterline. Oh, this one's so beautiful. So the purple one that I used yesterday was certainly not as pigmented as this. Overall, I think the formula is fine. It's not quite as nice as the ColourPop Creme gel liners. Like, it's not as smooth and soft. But I do love this color right here, this bright vermilion orange. It's striking, it's very pretty. I still want to get some actual lightness onto the center of the halo. So I'm gonna take my finger. I'm gonna dip into the shade Starry Sky and put that right here. And even though this is more of a pinky toned shimmer, just throwing it on top of all these other warm toned shades is not gonna be too upsetting. It's just gonna bring in a little bit of a lighter shine. So when the light catches my eye, it's brighter and lighter toned, and it's not fully monochromatic. Even though it's more of a pinky shimmer, it still works with what I'm doing because it's kind of low key when you combine it with all these other very warm toned orangey colors. So it's nice. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the eye look. I'm gonna go off camera and finish it up, and then I'll come back and show you how it looks. And here is the final look. I totally destroyed my eyeliner, but we'll just pretend that that's not there. On my lips, I'm just wearing the ColourPop lip oil in the shade Hot Spark. And overall, I think this is a really beautiful look. It did turn out a little more monochromatic than I was expecting. I don't know what I was thinking. I mean, I used pretty monochromatic colors, right? But I do like the way it turned out. I'm really glad that I used that pinky shade to go right on top in the center because it brings in a level of brightness that's really pretty. And I mean, that's everything. So my final thoughts on the palette. First off, the color story is beautiful. I love the formula. I just love it overall. I will say I did get a lot of fallout in the bottom row shades, so the yellow and peachy tones. I did get fallout between the mattes and the shimmers. That's not super uncommon with those shades, particularly if they're really pigmented. I think it's just a matter of the formulation and the dyes and colors that they have to use to make those shadows. I'm so sorry for this noise. I'm expecting them to come through my wall. And I'm also expecting my baby to start crying at any moment. I can't believe she's still sleeping. So that's why I'm trying to like fight through the noise and get this video done before she wakes up and just creates more noise. Anyway, I think the palette is beautiful. I'm so glad that I have it and that I get to play with it. It's lovely. I highly recommend that you pick it up if you're able to. I do not think that it's limited edition, so I believe it's part of the permanent product line, and I think it's gorgeous. I love it. I'm gonna have so much fun with it. Thank you very much for hanging out with me, for sticking through this long video. I hope you enjoyed the looks. Comment below which one is your favorite. I'm not sure which one's my favorite. I know I often do blue and purple together. They're like one of my favorite combos. So my first look wasn't very different, but then this one is not as dramatic. So I don't know which one's my favorite, but I would love to know which one you like best. Remember to like and subscribe if you want to see lots more content on your timeline. And until I see you in my next video, I hope you have a great day. Bye.